Nokip Kimboi, KTN News.
It's another story, and it is a sigh of big relief for the Education Ministry after President William Ruto announced that some of its big programs will not be affected by budget cuts announced today. The president announced that a plan to hire junior secondary school teachers on permanent and pensionable terms will not be disrupted, and that he will find other sources to finance the program. Further, additional budgetary allocations will be considered for institutions of higher learning, contrary to early expectations that they will face budget cuts.
The education sector was meant to receive the biggest share of 656 billion in the budget allocation. But after the controversial Finance Bill 2024 was dropped, there was a likelihood for the ministry to stare at a potential budget cut. From today's address by the president, the ministry appears to have been spared. One of the programs that was to be affected in the budget cut was junior secondary school teachers' recruitment on permanent and pensionable terms. It is, however, a big relief after President William Ruto announced that he will find alternatives to finance the program, whose cost would have been 18 billion shillings. President Ruto says the employment of these teachers is considered a critical area that will now be funded via borrowing.
We will use the money that we will borrow to protect funding for some of the critical areas that the people of Kenya have asked me to protect. They include hiring of junior secondary school teachers and medical interns.
Meanwhile, higher learning institutions have also been saved from the wrath of underfunding, as the government has also allocated additional funds for the institutions.
For higher education, new funding model that was in our plan will now receive additional funding.
Attention is now on how government will finance other essential areas within education sector given the current budgetary constraints. And Musungu, KTN News, Nairobi.